Morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Crypto Chat UK. Been an absolute bloodbath in the last 24 hours. Been a crazy 24 hours. I've been watching some stuff last night. Superman did a great video, to be honest. Did a great video on it, speculating on some stuff for market manipulators, pushing the market down and so forth. Whatever the reasons, I'm sure there's various, including sentiment in the market after the kind of the bubble or the crash early this year. I think it's just basically been a crazy 2018 in all, to be honest. We've had some real kind of boring times, some real lulls. We've had some ups and downs, of course. We've had chances of recovery. We've had some growth at just over 400 billion, some drops less than 300, back up to 300 odd billion. The usual, and some strange activity compared to last year. I think 2017 was unprecedented, and I think there was a lot of FOMO. And a lot of stuff going on. So there is a bit of huge market correction, if you want to call it that. Perhaps some manipulation, but there's all sorts of reasons. I mean, the ICO boom. I was never into the ICO boom anyway. I was never into the ICOs. If you look at my previous videos, I've always mentioned ICOs. Very careful of. You've got to be very sure of the project. A lot of people made good on ICOs, on some of the real good ones that are still around now, of course. But you do have to be careful. Stuff like, even still now, you still have to be careful. But there we go. Let's have a look at the market. Well, before we have a look at it, let's look at what the news is saying, shall we? Quick brief look. Is Bitcoinist.com, Ethereum price analyst under $270 and falling amid alt apocalypse. I mean, that is a great way of saying it. It is definitely apocalypse today. Ethereum very much undervalued, I reckon, right now. It has helped. I think Ethereum has helped Bitcoin to get its percentage of dominance back. I really do think that's a big part of it. Amongst a lot of the altcoins. I think there is something on Bitcoinist actually here. Not that. No, sorry, on News BTC. They make a few good points here. One, those projects that are strictly for use as currencies, for example, Bitcoin Monero, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and others, they're all faring much better than the platforms such as Ethereum and EOS, which support more token-based. The token-based ones seem to be the ones that hit the worst. This coupled with the strongest Bitcoin dominance percentage seen all year, so for the past year, these factors could be indicative of a general realization that most digital tokens represent little but an idea at this point. I'm being interrupted by my phone here. Let me just turn that off. So the values seen at the tail end of last year were completely unsustainable for companies who are yet to launch a working product. Now, a lot of the token-based ones didn't release a project, didn't release their product, or haven't even released their product now. Some have perhaps tried to do stuff that haven't worked out as well. So it was very speculative with the token-based stuff. Of course it was. I tightened up late last year and early this year in which ones I went for. If I went for anything that was a little bit obscure or wasn't sure of, it was just a punt. And I think I did advise a lot of people to do it that way as well. So yeah, it was quite clear not all projects were going to make it. I mean, some still might recover from even before this apocalypse, alt apocalypse as they call it. So I think still some might recover for that reason, and if they do release something good, if their product actually comes out really good, I definitely have seen a few good things. I'm going to discuss in the video actually about some of the kind of fiat gateway stuff, or the payment cards in particular, and which ones have been doing quite well. Certainly Wire is one of them, which I've ordered. 4 days to come, that's all. But I'm going to discuss that in another video. So also, it's understandable that positive sentiment is dying down for such token-based projects, since the numbers of projects revealing failures to deliver on roadmaps or being outed as downright frauds is growing by the day. This is something that it was quite obvious last year. There was a lot of fraudulent ones, of course. People were jumping on the market and on the bandwagon. Others generally wanted to release some good projects, but it just didn't work out for them. A lot more confident than realised, and some are just dragging the feet, so they do lose interest. The ones that they do lose interest. So it's another good point made. It's almost certain that there isn't a single reason behind the continued tanking of the cryptocurrency market. Okay, the most realistic cause is that the market simply needs time to recover. I do think there's a bit of market manipulation in there as well as, but there was a lot of inexperienced investors entered the space at the tail end of last year in May. Many were badly burned following the late December downturn. So when we had that, I think it was late December, early January, I think really. I mean, I haven't got the date to hand. I could have a look back at it later. So they might not have the date right exactly. But when it did take the downturn, it had kind of a really big fall. You know, there was no new money, as in it says here, new money was reluctant to enter the market. Once it's been burnt in that way, it's not easy. So that's really it, what they've said. They've said a few other things and that, but I think that's some good points there for sure. Let's have a look at the market, shall we? Come on, let's have a quick look. So let's just refresh this. It's been falling so well, I bet it's dropped a bit more. 193 billion is the current market capitalization. If you have a quick look at when it was that, I think it was still early November, late October. So if you look at it like that, we just had too much growth. That's what it was. So let's have a look. Let's scroll up here. Get my computer in gear working, and then we'll go from there. Hang on a second. So what we got here? 2 seconds. Right, where was I? Just got interrupted. Sorry, guys. Somebody came to the door. So if we're looking at the market, we'll look at the market's currently under 93 billion or thereabouts. Last time it was that, or anywhere near that, was early November still. So still like the first week in November. So as far as the market's concerned there, it's not, if we look over, we'll click it onto a year, so it's easier to see, shall we? So, you know, apart from this big chunk of silly growth that we had and silly craziness that we had, certainly at the end of last year, it's actually not bad looking. Depending on when you got in, obviously a lot of people who bought in this period, the last year, could have bought in at some very bad points. Also, could be seeing some losses. The idea for me is, and don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor, so, you know, you've got to make up your own decision on what to do. But I certainly wouldn't be pulling your money out if it's looking like a loss. I would hang on to it, and eventually, as far as I'm concerned, it will grow to a massive degree. So anyway, let's have a look at the coins. See how we'll have a quick look, shall we? Quick look. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance, it's currently 53.9%. So let's have a look down, and we'll have a look. I mean, Bitcoin staying above 6,000. I think it might have nipped under 6,000 the other day, but staying 6,000 at the moment. If you look at Ethereum, look at that, $267. I can't remember the last time it was anywhere near that. I think I started buying in when it was about 30 odd to 60 odd dollars. Stellar Lumens, I think a few of these have held fire. You know, they're not doing too bad. A couple of the fundamental ones are still not doing too bad in this market. Litecoin's getting into a really cheap position. Cardano, 9 cents. I mean, this could go down a little bit more. Dash, I mean, if you look at how much that was last year, and how much people who had the, basically the masternode with Dash, they were making an absolute fortune last year. Still making good money now, perhaps, if you've got a Dash masternode. Probably still out of reach for many people. Neo, obviously, I think ones like this are very much undervalued still, and certainly undervalued now, and are well worth getting back into, or getting into. I think people who are buying for the first time, they could make a substantial amount of money. I'm fancying speculating on this ETF for Bitcoin. You never know, this ETF could get approved by or in September. So I'm perhaps going to throw some at Bitcoin. Maybe if I've got some eyes on some altcoins that I want to move it around into Bitcoin, and get some of that. But there's the dominance, 53.9%, definitely gone up. And the market has certainly tanked. You could certainly say this is definitely the worst in over a year. So any growth that maybe we had throughout 2018 at any spots, if you bought on a relative low, well, they've just been trashed. Certainly in the last 24 hours. But this is where you've got to think about the market in the longer term. These kind of things are going to happen. You know, when you get these huge growths and the FOMO that occurred, the fear of missing out that occurred during late December, certainly the latter part of 2017, while it was definitely unsustainable, we knew that. We certainly didn't think the market would drop down this far after that. We thought the interest would get up. But what it needs is, it needs basically the fundamentals and all the technology around it to make it easier accessible, ease of use, and certainly educational. So we need to educate people on the market, on the potentials, on its uses, and also make it easier to get access to. Because until all these things are brought out and people are made aware of them, and it's made much easier to use, well, you know, it's a lot of people aren't going to get involved. And then also you've already lost the people who got burnt, who feel they got burnt in December, January, because obviously a lot of people would panic when the market was going down and wouldn't be holding on to their investments, which is regrettable because as far as I'm concerned, in the future it's going to be well into the trillions. I've said this on many times and many occasions. Certainly, years from now, it's easily going to be in the trillions. Will it make it next year to trillions? Probably not. If it does, will it be sustainable? Possibly not. If the technology gets increased to a great deal, then yes, we are going to get a lot more growth, and we are going to get a lot more adoption, and the adoption rates will go up, and the knock-on effect should roll really fast out then. So if we can roll out some more of the stuff that's really essential for the market, essential to help people get on the market, then that's the important thing. So all these new investments, the ETFs, all these new structures around investment strategies, yes, it's great, but not needed, I don't think. I think we just need to really get the technology out there, get its use cases all sorted and set up, and then we're going to have a real market that'll get some real investment and will allow people to get on it and use it in an easier way. Let's have a look at that. Anyway, hope this video helped you out a bit, guys. It was just off the cuff because I just quickly had to get it on there after having this 24-hour craziness, and hopefully I will be on soon to give you some more good info. If you did like the video, hit the like. If you didn't, hit the dislike. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm a new YouTuber and definitely could do with all the help I can get. Speak to you soon, guys.